Why, hello there! I am the Theme Park Evaluator, Joseph Gregory Pagac. As you all have very well seen, I went with my brother, Philip Pagac, to Six Flags over Mid-America in Eureka, Missouri. Theme parks are my life, and if I'm not at one, I'm enjoying a book about them, reading the different sites for the theme parks in which I would hope to visit, or even playing a game in which you construct a theme park from the ground up. Roller Coaster Tycoon, I'm talking about you. Thanks, Sawyer, for that fantastic game, by the way. It is for those reasons, and many more personal ones, that I wish to share with you my experiences at theme parks and evaluate them. As always, I go off of a 4-star rating system. With this system, I have designated genres of evaluation to rate on. These genres are theming, cleanliness, guest relations, and entertainment. I always try to be fair, and let's be honest, these are my opinions. Take them however you please. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do something a little bit different than what I normally do. I'm going to kind of do this as like a little bit of a walkthrough, as what my mind was trying to process in order to be able to get to where we were, in order to even be able to think of going to this theme park. It was a late night in the middle of June. I was at my brother Phil's apartment, where we were enjoying a couple of movies in titillating 3D. As I was about to leave, I asked him if he might be interested, or as I should really say, was if he might be able to get a weekend off in the middle of October. He said that he could try, but was curious as to why. That is when I asked if he wanted to go to Cedar Point for Halloweekends. He did ask off for that, and we started to look at hotel arrangements. It seemed as though, however, Cedar Point's on-property hotels were completely sold out and would not allow for a weekday arrival, which I find to be kind of odd, by the by, but that's just me. That is when I remembered that our season passes for Six Flags Great America were good at all but 5 of the Six Flags theme parks. So we searched the net for a suitable park. After a quick look, we noticed that Six Flags over Mid-America was actually 1 mile closer to our house than Cedar Point had been. So we decided that we would book our hotel. We knew that there was no on-site hotels, so we had found the cheapest, closest hotel that we could find, and that was the Super 8 Eureka. It was not the greatest of hotels, but it was just a little walk to the park, and, well, that was great because neither Phil nor I had a gold season pass, which would allow for free parking. Otherwise, it would have cost $22 per day to park the car at the park. It was only like a quarter mile of a walk anyway, so I'm not going to pay $22, but I could just walk a quarter of a mile. But, my God. It was a beautiful sight. From afar, it looked magnificent. We arrived at Six Flags over Mid-America at about 5:35 p.m., for that was 25 minutes before the park opened for the night. We had gotten there on Friday, and we would be there each day for the weekend, so Saturday and Sunday was also included. Well, we're not going to travel 8 hours in order to be able to go to a park for just one 6-hour stint. Come on. But anyways, we had high expectations due to the fact that this park had a Ferris wheel. We loved a specific Ferris wheel at Six Flags Great America named Skywhirl. Sadly, in 2000, they tore it down in order to be able to make Deja Vu, which took its spot in 2001. But enough about that. It appeared as though they allowed everybody into the park at about 5:30, but they didn't allow anyone past the World's Fair of 1904. That's the zone, 1904 World's Fair. With that in mind, my brother Phil and I decided right there and then to start our documenting. We could not help but think that the theming in this area was superb. They had clever signs for all of their shops. There were beautiful landscapes, and most importantly, there did not seem to be anything that distracted from the look of this opening plaza. Right away, you could see that the park had been held to a very high standard. You see, one of my biggest pet peeves is a park that is dirty. However, this opening area showed no signs that the park would have trash strewn about. The ground was practically spotless. The only things on the ground were leaves. And in the second week of October, it's hard to keep all of the leaves off of the paths. The hosts were asking us if we needed any help finding an item. We both said no, and we walked away. I should not have, though. I really should not have. I wanted a Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast t-shirt. I had found one, actually, but I did not buy it at that time. And by the time that we were exiting on the last night, there were no more left in any of the stores. Yeah, I'm a moron sometimes. But this area was wonderful, and my brother Phil and I could not stop finding things to do in the area. However, 6 o'clock came, and that is when we decided to shove off. We went to the thing that was a major deciding factor for us for even going to the park. Colossus. The magnificent 180-foot tall Ferris wheel. Just like one would expect from a World's Fair, there were interesting facts about the ride that you could read as you waited your turn. The ride was decked out in lights that looked like a pumpkin from afar, and the inside was just splendid. It was not sticky or dirty. It seemed to have a fine polish to its gondolas. As we made our way throughout the park, we kept noticing the high standards this park was holding itself to. These standards were very similar to that of Disney or Universal even. Our next two rides were Scooby-Doo and the Scary Swamp. And the one that I had been looking forward to the most, Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast. That's right, Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast. Both had an amazing amount of detail in their own rights. Scooby-Doo had the same level of thought as a made-for-TV Scooby-Doo movie. As you wound your way through the swamp, you believed that this swamp was a part of the Scooby-Doo universe, and they had little jokes that were for the true Scooby fanatic. While Mr. Freeze, on the other hand, had a feeling of dread permeating an ice cream factory. Snowy's ice cream, to be precise. This makes it seem like you are an invading force of the Gotham PD and got suckered into one of Victor Freeze's traps that hurtles you out of his fortress. And that launches to die for, folks. It really is. It is pure fun and very intense. Perhaps that's what lured me there in the first place. Its fun exterior coating. Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. But we went around looking and riding more and more attractions. American Thunder, Pandemonium. Sadly, Excalibur was closed. Sky Screamer and Ninja, the black belt of roller coasters. American Thunder was overrun by spiders, so I could not enjoy my trip up the queue. Well, I do have to say that it is one compact and intense ride. Looking at it, it does not seem to be one that will whip you around that much, but it slaps you back and forth and up and down, creating one of the most powerful airtime experiences I have had yet. Pandemonium looks like it was meant to be a skate park. Well, that actually makes sense because it used to be Tony Hawk's Big Spin. Man, Excalibur looked so awesome, yet it was closed for some unknown reason. They wouldn't tell us, or they didn't know, but we never found out. Sky Screamer, now that thing is a nightmare. At least for somebody like myself who has acrophobia. It looks like a huge skyscraper that has window washing buckets that are being flung about in the wind. Ninja, the black belt of roller coasters, is a roller coaster that very well lives up to its name. It is so quick and smooth for an aero roller coaster that it seems like the train could sneak out of anywhere. It also has neat signs that explain what a ninja is, and there are ninja statues at the entrance of the ride. There is even one part that seems so close to you that my brother Phil and I started saying, "Ninja, chop off head without trace." This park has just so much to do, it is difficult to decide what to do next. So we did what we do best. We just went on whims. That's right, whatever we decided, we did. There was the Boss, one of the meanest, brutalest, and most fun roller coasters that you could ever ride. The Screamin' Eagle, a wooden out-and-back roller coaster. Superman, Tower of Power, a ride that sends you to dizzying heights, then drops you 220 feet. River King Mine Train, a twisted, runaway mine train that is filled with sharp turns and quick drops, yet is designed for the family to be able to enjoy. Rush Street Flyer. Now that is a ride that twirls you up and down in a circle while keeping the car completely flat. Moon Antique Cars is a relaxing vintage car ride next to American Thunder. Log Flume takes riders on a 1/4 mile journey through speeding waters that ends in a 30-foot drop. The Freaksmobile, normally the Tommy G. Robertson Railroad, is a haunted train ride. Batman Ride takes riders through the skies of Gotham on a roller coaster that suspends the riders underneath the track. The Joker Incorporated is a swinging boat ride. Shazam is a scrambler. The Grand Ole Carousel is a carousel like which you would see at a county fair or a state fair. And then there is Highland Fling, a ride that is like a Ferris wheel on its side.